I'm texting him too, so he's getting that.
Let's see. Take 3. We don't know how many takes we're going to have tonight, but we're going to keep trying until it happens.
Mm-hmm. It's a wild and crazy day. Okay. He hasn't answered back, so. He's pretty tech savvy, though, so that's why I'm like.
Huh. Well, we'll figure it out. There he is again, but I still can't add him. Yeah, there's something not right on his settings or something. It says Tom Gingrich cannot go live right now.
Okay. Shoot.
We might have to do this another time.
Okay. All right. Let's see here.
Sorry, everyone. We were really looking forward to this, but we can't seem to get Tom on. I know. Well, at least you can be entertained by my face. He commented on the video, but yeah, he's the only one that I can't add on.
Okay. Interesting. That's a Google question because I don't know the answer to it either.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I know it's come up for other people. You know, why is it not showing? And then, don't know. Well, let me see here. I'm going to try this.
For those of you who are interested or in...
He's checking on his end too. Okay.
Hey, Kristen. Technical difficulties. Yeah, there's got to be. Does anyone out there know why you can't add a particular person to a Facebook Live? Is there like a setting in the phone or something? There's something amiss here.
Oh, he doesn't have the app? For what?
Oh, he doesn't have... Yeah, he's got to have the app on his phone.
A Facebook?
Yeah, he's got to have the Facebook app on his phone.
Okay, that's it. All right, we got it. Yeah, you have to have the app.
So is he downloading it or what is he doing?
How's he doing it? I have no idea. Yes, you...
Yes, that would be it.
Must.
You must have the Facebook app in order to be on a Facebook Live. Facebook problem. No, we think we figured it out because he did not have his he doesn't have his app on his phone, his Facebook app.
If he does, so it won't take but a minute, you know.
Well, either way, so how about you just start to share about what you shared about the other night?
Yeah. So the great thing that I'm telling people about this is the simplest way you can talk about structured water is think of a mountain stream and how it comes down the mountain and it goes in this vortexual spin left and right through the rocks and up and down, and it's connecting with the elements of the earth. Like there's all kinds of crystals, there's all kinds of things like that. So that like brings the water into its natural state. It keeps it clean, it keeps it pure, it's moving, it's flowing. So that's what these things do, is they simulate that. There's no moving parts, there's no filter, it just simulates that like an instrument. And it tunes it, basically is what I would call it. It's like a tuning fork. And so you can structure, like put water in this, and then it's structured, it comes out this way. You can also use it for breathing. And that's the simplest, basic way I can describe it. And inside you can go to the site and there'll be like diagram of how these little balls are formed inside. And they have these indentations that basically make the water become like a flower of life structure. And it's in perfect balance. And so that's why anything this is the universal law, that anything that's not good for you just goes out the elimination system.
Wow.
And it neutralizes toxins that might be in the water. And then anything that's good for you in that water is enhanced. So it actually brings more energy to that. It brings more energy to you. So when you do that, it's called light energy or photonic energy. And so these things do that. They increase your energy.
Okay, it's giving me the option now.
Okay, we got an option. Yay. And
we're adding.
Yeah.
probably going to cut off my face because it's going to put him in the corner.
We could try it. You can try it maybe and see.
Well, we can't.
If he can actually.
We can't flip it.
Okay.
Because it's already being broadcast this way, but.
Okay.
It's working.
I did
out.
mine,
Remember,
I turned.
Well, yeah. Once you start it this way, you can't flip it
because mine fell off and was different.
Okay, there it is. Now we go.
Here we go.
Hey,
perfect.
Yay.
I don't know. You're good the other way.
You're good.
Okay, like that.
Jumping up good.
Normally we would do widescreen, but I was trying to figure out all the different reasons why we couldn't get you on. So.
Yeah, it was the Facebook app, and I had to go in there and allow my phone to access it. So.
Okay. How were you on then? Were you going by computer?
Well, I was on the computer and the phone, but I have the app on my phone, but I was logged in through Google instead of the app. So I went ahead and went through the app, and then asked to allow for recording in the audio and stuff. So.
Gotcha. Perfect. Well, we finally have you on. So such a pleasure to meet you virtually.
It's good to see you. Angie too, yeah.
And I'm in my Halloween get up. So
she went down to the parade.
That's fantastic.
I want to introduce everyone to Tom. Please. Tom is a colleague that I met actually at it was like a kind of a convention down there with the inventor, and we had a weekend, and I think that's when we met. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yes. And we went through a whole weekend before, and then by Sunday, like, Friday or Friday, and then Sunday, we have measurements taken of our physical, the meters and the muscle testing and different things that we got tested with, and to see where our body was by just what we were doing with the structured water, breathing and various things, and how were we feeling. And it was really informative and educational. Our researcher was there to document this. And so we got packets of what the readings were that we can refer to, of how different our bodies are when we're on the water, and, the things that we learned about what you can do with it. And so I met Tom there, and he's just loves the earth and, anything good for you. I know you're involved in like green foods and all kinds of healthy things, and you're also a gardener. You have a beautiful garden. So you have a well too that you worked with the structured water. That's what I'm excited for us to all learn about, is these different things that you've learned from using this water and implementing it. I think the first thing I'd like to ask you, Tom, is how did you find out about structured water through Natural Action Technologies? How did you hear about it?
That's very interesting, because I found it through a podcast, I think, with Maureen Moss, and I think she lives in Ashland. Is that right?
Yes.
Maureen,
yeah.
Maureen Moss. Yeah, okay, she might have been a distributor, but it was on a podcast with her and Stephen Greer. They were doing the World Puja Network. So it was a radio program, and that's where I found it.
Yeah, she's on the radio. She has her thing. So,
as a quick question before I lose this question, someone's asking, can they test the water before and after?
It depends. The test for it, there's the testing available for that is not generally available. Like, it's not real accessible for those kind of tests. But that is possible, yes.
The thing is, what this is not a chemical. This is not a chemical testing. It's a testing of the energy of the water.
Yes.
Which is
so it uses
hard
energy.
To understand. Because, you could test for chlorine or whatever, it will probably show up. But the thing is, energy of that doesn't stay in your body. It goes out the elimination system. Like, I know for a fact, what is it? The chlorine in pools, it basically changes it into into the air, so it's not really in the water, and it dissipates. Like, it comes out like a smell, and then it dissipates, and then I don't smell it anymore. So I mean, really, this is a quantum physics thing, and it's an energy thing based on photonic energy, and that you can transmute and see. Yeah.
And I think now the however to that is that I just did some testing with a TDS meter, so that is easily. They're like $15, $20 TDS meter, and total dissolved solids. and I actually run it through the portable, and I eliminated, it went down 10 points just with one pass with the portable. So that was very interesting. And you have to ask, where did that go? Well, it went somewhere, but it goes inside the water molecule. So through the spin is how all the toxicity is pulled inside the water molecule and holds that where it passes through the body without interacting with it. So it does not affect any part of the body when it pulls it inside the water. As long as there's space in the water molecule, all the toxicity will go in there.
Yeah.
So basically, it's still in the water, but it's being held within the water, and it's not being absorbed within the body, and it's just being passed straight through you.
Yes.
That's right. Yes. And so that's one aspect, and then the other aspect where it actually changes the hydrogen bond angle, where the structure is changed, where the information of that toxin is no longer the same. So it could change it through structurally changing the toxin geometric structure of it. So if it changes the structure of it, it changes the information and the way it reacts to the body.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So how does that work in terms of like shifting the structure of like large bodies of water?
Well, yeah, that's just it's kind of where more research is required to see how big of area becomes structured. But generally, I was in a big outdoor pool over in Egypt, and I run my portable just under the water, just switched it around like this, and the whole pool was structured, and it was, I don't know the square foot, but it was big, yes, like that. And one of the gals that was with us, she said after she came out, her skin felt soft. So she could tell a difference in her skin just through the whole pool.
And I've done this where I just stick this by, like, say, a hot tub, the jets.
Yes.
But even just if I don't want to go, I can structure it and put it in a pitcher or a small bucket of water and pour that in, lift the lid up, and then I go away because the lid kind of smells like the pool supplies, the chlorine and the clear additives, and then after about 10 minutes I come back and that smell is gone, and I never get itchy as long as I'm in there. It doesn't matter. I'm not itchy when I get out. I don't feel affected, and my hairs are not all gross, and these are the things you notice by showering in it too. So
and also to let the water breathe a little bit, like after it's structured, to let it set and breathe. I think that makes a difference. Sometimes in really bad tap water in a city or something where it's really a bad taste, one pass through there doesn't do anything to the taste. And for some people it may, and some people won't. But what I think makes a difference is to go ahead and let that water breathe, and then you may pass it through again. So sometimes it's too much adversity, and it needs a lot more structuring, or just to let it breathe after it's been structured. Now, one thing that was really interesting, I was in just a natural hot springs out by a river, and it was a small hot springs, but I structured the water in the pool, just in the rock pool, and there was a gal sitting about 6 feet away, and she had no clue what we were doing, and all of a sudden she said, "Oh, that feels really good." She could feel the water change just sitting in the water. So that was just amazing. I was really amazed. And then after you come out, you just feel it's the soft skin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, what would you say to people who have water filtration systems versus this, people who are trying to make a decision on what to go with?
Okay, the main thing with that is the memory of the water. So all the filtration system does not remove the memory of anything in the water. The structuring removes the memory. So that's the biggest advantage. You can filter all day long and remove physical, but until you remove the memory, it's just like, what do they call it? Homeopathy, where you reduce the physical down to where it's not detectable, but the energy is still there. The energy signature of whatever was there is still affected the water. Now, this is very interesting because I just did a recent research with my mom. She had both eyes cataract surgeries done. And instead of using the medicated eye drops, I said, hold it. I said, I'll just make you one with the structured water. So I put some oregano essential oil in 1 cup of structured water. I put 2 drops, two drops of in 1 cup of structured water. And then I used a little dropper, a little squeeze dropper, to suck up the water around the oil. So I didn't actually get the oil. And it had a hint of the oregano. And she used those drops in her eyes with perfect success.
Wow.
So that is really profound. So there's just so many things you can do. And we could actually taste just a hint of the oregano, but there was no burning in the eyes.
Wow.
I love it.
And that just came to me intuitively, like just a little light bulb moment.
Yeah.
So just
it'll do
more.
that. It's like, because I call it conscious water, it'll waken up our intuitive instinct, because we're not used to being on, say, spring water all the time that's coming out pure. We're not used to that. And when we begin to drink on that and our whole life becomes that, then we're becoming more and more intuitive, and we're remembering what you can do with, this message or information that may not be, no one's ever documented this. So we're documenting it with videos and our experiences and testimonials.
Yes, and the fruit has just been absolutely fantastic. It's been, last year I had some watermelon. They were over double on the Brix test of what's considered excellent. Over double.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. There's this little meter you can test the juice, and then it's the sugar content, and it's called the Brix meter. And that's what we do in our garden too. And it's good.
Yes,
I think we're doing experimentally some gardens that are away from structured water, and then testing their reading compared to that is on water, as far as the comparison goes.
Yeah, and also something that's really handy is the little it's another little meter that tests the blood oxygen on your finger. Oximeter. Yeah, it's an oximeter. And so I've been using that to test people's oxygen levels before and after. And right away, like within 2 minutes, there will be a change of 5 points one way or the other on the blood oxygen and the pulse rate. Either one or both of those will change 5 points within 2 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I've noticed everybody that's drinking structured water will be in the 95 plus. And then, people that haven't been generally are in the low 90s to not even registering.
Okay,
so you can find something pretty quick. And then
I just want to point to the audience too, the thing that I want to stress is like, I couldn't understand why, I was drinking water a lot, and I would use bottled water before I was structured. And I just never felt hydrated. I was always thirsty. And then I also had back pain. And so, like, after a week of being on structured water, I didn't have sciatica. I maybe had one more bout in the year. I haven't had it since. That has changed me. And I was asking, I say, pray or intending the universe, help me here. I know it's something to do with water. I know I'm dehydrated, so I don't understand why. And so, this came to me. So when you ask questions, and it just arrives, and how it all happened is a miracle.
Yeah.
So I just want people to know that.
Yeah. So that was my story with the well, because we put the water on the well. Now I learned about putting it on the well as far as the experience myself from doing it in reverse. Like I started inside the house on the shower and went back toward the well in line of pipes. So all the point of use in the house, I put them on there, like under the kitchen sink, on the shower, and a portable that we're using in the house. Before I realized, if anybody has a well to start with, that's the place to start and work toward the house. And so that's the best value. And what happened was the water changes. We have a low water table. It's maybe 35 foot well. And so we have a lot of farm agriculture spray runoff. I'm sure it gets leached into the groundwater there. It's really hard. Really, it had a bad taste to it, and really a lot of calcium and a lot of hardness to it. And even the pump people did a little hardness scale test, and they said, yes, it's really hard. And so I was able to, bring soft water into the house with just these units without any filter. And we had a water softener on there with the rock salt or the mineral salt they put in there. It was a Kinetco water softener. We actually took that out and just put the structured water units on there, and now we have perfect water. And we actually had some people come from Alaska. They're used to drinking Alaska water, and she said this was really good water. So it's kind of confirmation from somebody used to drinking, mountain water to actually taste it.
Right. Yeah. And then that thing that you mentioned about the calcium deposits, that's what gets on the outside of our pipes, and it builds up on your thing. I noticed that, like where I had my friend with a garden, we were growing food there for the last 3 years. That started getting better. Like less of it was clogging up the shower tank or the shower head.
And it becomes softened. It's softer. Like even when you go to scrape it off, it's softer. So yeah, and then see, and that all goes in suspension. So as long as what I've noticed, like in the shower, it don't even stick on the shower until after it dries. Like the water molecule has to dry out in order for that calcium to be left to even notice it. Otherwise, like while you're in the shower and stuff, you don't notice it. And so it makes a big difference, like in all the fixtures, the pipes, but all the porcelain, the tile, and in the shower and the toilet, it comes off so much easier. Either it's non-existent or it comes off.
What you're saying there too, Tom, is that is a good indicator too that's happening inside your body as well.
That's right.
Drinking that water, you get like kind of calcified. We don't want that. We want it to, just flow and not have all full of, too much minerals of this and that plugging up the system. And I just know the most amazing thing.
Yes, I think that's so profound, because especially when we're talking about the pineal gland, the fluoride and the chlorine and all those chemicals that have calcified the pineal gland. This is actually mitigating all that. It's removing all that calcium out of the pineal. So it literally has been a magical ride since adding structured water.
That's why we call this show The Adventures of Structured Water.
So when did you first find out about this technology, and how old is the technology?
The technology has been out to the public since 2011.
Okay.
He was working on it since from 2011, and I found out about it in 2014. Yeah, the beginning of the year, and that's when I went for a year with just the portable, and I went from drinking 2 cups of water to a gallon of water, basically in one day, and so. Wow. It was I was living in an area where the water was pumped through a pipe for at least a mile. And it was so hard that it had eaten a hole in a metal pipe near a joint. So it had ate a hole right through it. And that's how hard the water was. And I had a really hard time drinking the water. But I went to drinking a gallon of water after the portable. And it took me a whole year of having the structured water in the portable till I got the shower unit. And once I got the shower unit, then it was a whole new game changer, because I was immersed in it, and it was a profound experience, and I had my own awakening experience to the world of wonders in all things, but also in the world of structured water. And once I got into the shower aspect, I researched full on, like I wanted to know everything. So. Since 2015.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So yes.
What else shall we?
Well, I can ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the well, what we have set up is there's a drip system that goes, it's like a tube that goes down in there, and then the structure or something. I'm not really sure how that works.
Yes, okay, that's very important. That's the key. So after the unit is attached on the outflow of the well, then you put a T, and there's off of the T, it reduces to a 1/4 inch tubing, plastic tubing, and there's little push connect fittings that's very simple to connect. And you run that line back into the top of the well. There's actually a little port that's usually a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch. And you just connect it right to that port. And what's interesting when we talk about the water, when we're talking to the water and getting answers from the water, we had a situation where the water changed throughout the year as it got toward the end of the summer and into the fall, when it was at the lowest, then it got more adversity to the water. So it actually changed a flavor or a taste came into the water again at a certain faucet. And that's what was really amazing. Throughout the whole house, this taste would only be at one faucet. And it was primarily the faucet that I used the most. So as water had a way of telling me there's an issue. And so then I asked, at the end, I asked, what's the answer here? Because I couldn't understand what was going on. And I had the drip kit. You have in the 1/4-inch line back to the well, there's a shutoff valve. So normally you only have to drip that water into the well, but I found out I had to leave it wide open because I needed more structuring. So what the answer to the taste in the house was to open that wide open. So now I had the full 1/4-inch line flowing back to the well, and that taste would go out overnight.
Wow. So, yeah, I remember you told me about that. So that's pretty exciting. And knowing these things helps others. I mean, I know you've been doing some assisting and support in people in other countries with the water.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you're on your way to, I think, Malawi, is it?
Well, it's I was in Botswana and Namibia and Zimbabwe, and I talked to some people in Botswana and Zimbabwe that are very interested in bringing it there. So right now I'm going to be going back in December to South Africa, and I'm just going to let it flow and see who I connect with there. But there's a couple of dealers there in South Africa now that I just found out about, and so I'm going to connect with them and see how we can help over there. So yes, I'm all about supporting anywhere I go. So I've been sharing it. I've been traveling quite a bit the last 2 years and sharing it a lot with the groups that I've been traveling with, and it's just amazing. Like, say even at the places we're staying, I'll hook it up to the shower everywhere I go, but also everybody that's drinking bottled water. It's not long. I get out this unit and start structuring the bottled water, and pretty soon everybody is passing their bottles saying, I want mine structured. And then one gal gives comments like, she says, I've tasted a lot of water on this trip. She said the best water is Tom's water. So that's the one that's going through the structuring in it. So it's just a matter of people experiencing it and being in the energy, and everybody wants it. And once you engage with it, that's when the magic happens.
Yeah, that's what I've had fun with. I'm a pet sitter, so seeing go to a pet sit, and then I structure the water, and the dog doesn't want the water he's been having. He only wants the structure. Yes. And I like to do that wherever I go. I like to structure it wherever I'm traveling or I'm at, just because I know the animals are attracted to it, and they know instinctively. They don't need to know what is the chemical composition. And and I'm a big one with that water has memory. So Masaru Emoto and his work, and when it comes, it's important what you're saying to yourself as well. So like when you clear this water, by all means say affirmations to the water. Like I say, I love you, thank you, water. I love you. And that water is basically telling me I love you when I'm drinking it. So, we feel like, there's nothing I can't change with the water I want. Good.
Yes.
So we have a thing that Clayton talks about, and it's what else is possible. We stay in the question and listen. When you get an intuition, when you get you're kind of stumped on something, just keep asking what else is possible. And know it will come to you at the right time. The answer will come, and don't second guess it, because it really tunes you into your own knowingness. That's the miracle of it.
Yeah, I like to comment that the structured water is, I say minerals are the generators, the energy generators, and structured water or water is the carrier. So the minerals are the frequency generators, the water is the carrier. Now, Clayton mentioned when he first got into structured water, he said water showed up where it shouldn't be. Now, I had a conversation with him Okay, there, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Sorry, we had my Wi-Fi shorted out, so I had to switch back to my phone service.
Sure. So the water showed up where it shouldn't be. It's multidimensional. So with that, with knowing that, we are multidimensional beings, so we can access all the information in the universe. It's very interesting. They can record solar flares. The energy of solar flares is picked up by the microbes here on Earth before the solar flare reaches Earth. I think they said in 8 seconds it's recorded on in the microbes on Earth. So that's much faster than the speed of light that is recorded, the energy from a solar flare through water. That's how it happens. So almost instantaneously across the universe.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you speak to the part about too, like how we can take like blow on some food and something that may not be so healthy for you, it doesn't stick in your system. It just goes out the elimination system.
Yes.
Your body just says, nah, and then whatever's beneficial, your body will take.
That's right.
You know?
Yes. So it's the way that it spins. You have the right and the left spin, the male and the female. It's the feminine that pulls inside the water molecule, and the male holds it outside. So it's the spin. According to the spin, is how it's held. Everything that's good for life is held on the outside of the water molecule, and everything harmful is pulled inside the water molecule. And that happens with the spin.
Yeah.
So that's why even like dancing, sometimes people get dizzy, or just spinning on a merry-go-round or something with the spin. If you're spinning the certain way, then the toxins are thrown into your elimination system, and it could cause you to get dizzy.
Wow.
So either they will be pulled inside the elimination system to go out the elimination system through the inside of the body, or it will be thrown out through the skin. So there's 2 ways that the toxins can exit. I mean, actually several ways the toxins can exit the body, but that's depending on which way you're spinning is where it goes. So now this is very interesting, because this is pretty new as far as I just talked with Clayton. He's now working on his latest project is to get, he's actually going to build a device for removing the physical. And it will be a similar device where it will be no moving parts. So actually, but here's the thing. He said, once you remove the physical, what are you going to do with it? Meaning, if it's still toxic, now you got to dispose of it. So that's the question, and that will be answered, but that was just a question that came up.
Wow.
So, but that's his next project. It's going to be pretty interesting, because he'll combine that with the structuring, so that it'll be all one unit, to where it remove the physical and structure the water as it's going out.
Yeah. For those that aren't familiar who Clayton is, he's the inventor of the units, and he has many years, I think it's over 40 years, that he has studied water, and he's an inventor, and also very tapped in and tuned in to the elements of the earth and the galactic. So he calls it otherworldly. And so that's what I feel is like we have so much new inventions, and even younger persons are inventing things to help clean up the planet and make it be back to its beautiful, what it was meant to be. And that's what we're really passionate about. That's what we want to see, is harmony here, not chaos.
Yes. And I guess now, going back to blowing, so you could just take the unit and blow through it onto a bottle, say like of oil. If you just took the unit and blow onto a bottle of oil, he said that oil will never go off. So that preserves the quality structure of the oil, the molecular structure, from going rancid.
Yes.
So that's just a bit. So what I do is I'll just rinse the bottles of oil underneath the water in the faucet, like just through the sink. After I bring it home from the store, I'll just rinse it off and set it in the shelf. And so that just is a way to preserve it.
Awesome.
So then when you do open it up, it stays structured.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's amazing, because there's no end to what you can use it for,
Yeah, absolutely no end.
I was with a gal today that I met, I was sharing with her that some people have an aversion to plastics. So they've got a mental thing that plastic's bad for you. And am I yelling?
No,
Sorry.
you're fine.
That but if you blow on the plastic, it's going to change its structure.
Yes.
And that this is bringing back, we have more control than we thought of
Yes.
our situation here, and that we don't know, we're going to have to see, like, if plastics normally took hundreds of years to break down, what's
Yeah.
going to happen if you structure it? It may
Wow,
decompose, like, awesome. Boom. So we are needing to document these kinds of things and
Right.
find out about it. And some people are going to have fun with that.
Yeah. Now, another thing that's really interesting, I got some mineral spring water from upstate Maine. It's Tourmaline Spring. They're advertising it now as untreated natural spring water. Well, I wanted to check and see how it tasted, so I ordered a case of it, and I had two. Me and my mom, we tested the taste, and we could both taste the plastic from the bottle. And so I had mentioned that, if we structure the water before it goes into the bottle, then we might not have that taste. So I think I kind of confirmed it, at least to myself, because I had another bottle that that was actually structured before it went into the bottle, and there was no flavor. So it did make a difference. And what Tourmaline Springs said is they try to off-gas their bottles, like they let them set out for a month, like they order them ahead, where they're actually stored, and off-gas them to where they said that there should be no problem that way. There should be no taste. Well, I was able to taste it, so I don't know what it was, but between two of us, we definitely tasted it. And then I could take that same water and run it through the portable and eliminate that plastic taste. So there you go. And this is the
too, right, Tom? Like, well, this is made of kind of plastic too.
yes, right. Yes, it's plastic too. Now this is the bottle that came from Alaska, and it was structured with this natural action technologies. However, it's not anymore. And there was some issue with the bottling company that was doing that. Why they didn't want to is kind of a mystery, but it used to be, and this went to all like the service, like the holiday service station stuff in Alaska. They sold their water locally, but anyway, it used to be actually structured through a structure unit before it was bottled, and that's the one I tested, and there was no taste at all. So I know that the structuring will definitely help any bottling facility that wanted to put one in.
Yeah.
So,
And inside the units, they do have, there's elementals like shungite and a whost of others that he intuited or got information to use. So that's sort of like what sets him apart, in the whole thing, as the patented one of that unit, that there are elementals that he may have connected with that as I recall, that he was, instructed, use this.
Yes, I know three of them that were public is shungite and clear quartz or ancient quartz and red garnet. So that's three of them I know, but those are, it's a really powerful. And then, so you have three ways that these units act on water. There's the dodecahedron and icosahedron, the sacred geometries, and then all the minerals and gemstones in the flow form, and then the right and left spin, so the vortex, double vortex. So there's three ways that these units act on the water that have an impact. So then you put that behind pressure, like in a pump situation, and you have exponential outcome, and that's where you really get a powerful energy, is when you put it behind, like in a pressurized system.
That's a good point about the energy too. Like, it's good to point out that, like, when I was going through before structured water, that I was thirsty all the time, but also I was tired. I was tired because I was working so hard to get hydrated. So your body's working so hard to just get water. I think it's been mentioned that the energy to do that is like the same amount of energy you use in your house for a month.
Whoa. Yes. The same amount of energy to power a normal size home for a month is what your body takes just to be hydrated every day.
Every day? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
It's remarkable, how you can just keep moving along there, and you can see and feel things in a different way when you're not, you're kind of like struggling to just get through things.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Now it's really interesting.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's really interesting. I did a test with blueberries with the toxicity because there was some blueberries that were heavily sprayed. And I ate 3 handfuls out in the patch, and I had, within an hour, I had diarrhea I had to clean out. And those same blueberries, I was able to take them, and I soaked them in the water for 20 minutes. I'm not exactly sure how long it would take, but I just put them in for 20 minutes. I could eat a half a gallon of those blueberries without any problem.
Mm-hmm.
So it erased all of that toxic memory.
Wow.
So even whatever has, your fruits and vegetables, whatever has been sprayed, you buy it in the store, just bring it home, put it in the structured water, blow on it, whatever you're going to do. And it's just amazing, the transformation.
Yeah, that's important too, because a lot of folks, they can't afford to do always organic,
Right.
or things like that. I know that has happened to me. I never worry about it.
Right.
I'm never stuck on it
Yes.
because I've got this.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
taken the worry out of my world.
Yes, we did this with peaches this summer. I don't have enough growing on my own, so I'm getting a lot from the orchards, and I just don't worry about them being sprayed anymore. I just soak them in there right away and then let them ripen and eat away, and there's just absolutely no problem. I just love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
grapes, the grapes have been really wonderful. Every year they get better and better, sweeter and sweeter. The blueberries, I'm working with my cousin. We put on a 2-inch unit on a line, watering an acre, 1.25 acres of blueberries. And every year he's gotten more heavier production every year. Now the first season was 4 times, and these are the owner's words, he said 4 times the production as he had the year before. The second season, it was another double or triple on top of double again. This last summer, he had so many blueberries that he couldn't sell them all. And they were ripening for, I would say, 2 weeks longer than they did the year before. So there was multiple stages of blueberries on the bush because it could not handle them all at one time. There was so much energy there that it wanted to produce, but it staggered them out. So there was blueberries, like just on one bush, there was a whole set of ripe ones and then green ones coming behind them. So that's never happened before at the level of production this has. So
Yeah, I've seen that too at the garden I was at. I still get to go over there and get some goodies there. The soil, of course, is top notch. I must, say that.
Yes.
He knows what he's doing. He's definitely got a lot of wisdom with that. But I think it's the combination of both, having good nutrients coming from your soil, but then add structured water, and you have like so much food. You just gotta give it away. So I want people to know that, also, what it helped is like when it's really hot and it's extremely, your fruit and your whatever's growing can handle that better because it's hydrated better. And then also if you get a frost, it's less it's less affected by frost because the same thing.
It lowers, yes, it increases the sugars, so it makes it more resistant to frost and the colder temperature. It also lowers the freezing temperature. So, and yes, we've noticed that just within the fruit itself, you get a much more water in the fruit. Like with the blueberries, I noticed the non-structured blueberries have a mushy consistency to them, where the structured water have a pop to them, like it's a juicy pop, versus more of a mush.
Yeah.
So
I think that too. I have totally.
So it's just amazing to eat them, and everybody that eats them, they just like, I actually took some structured blueberries down to Clayton and several of the people in Arizona, and everybody I gave them to, they said, bar none, these are the best berries they've ever had of the blueberries.
Yeah, that's exciting. I have to try them. I'm craving them.
Well, and I was even talking with Tim Tula, the one that does the Save, and he said, he really wanted to get them, but he's only able to get the frozen ones. He's in Colorado, so he's hoping to order some frozen ones and at least try those. But yes, he was getting so excited, and that's what we need right now. We're getting to the point where we can start producing these amounts of really quality fruit, but we also need to educate people where they're located and especially the people that are local. to get access to that actually value it.
So Tom, the one thing that's come to my mind too is how this can exponentially, if we start using and implementing these units, like I have a shower unit, it actually, I was listening to Clayton, it goes down, your water goes down the drain too, so it's going into the sewer system. You're still helping the rest of your neighborhood.
Right.
I have deer and animals want to come in the yard. My homeowner doesn't like it, so he chases them off. But they all want to come over and be near the house.
Yes.
And that's what I've noticed. And I don't even have a house unit. I just have a shower unit and portable. Yeah. And so what I was telling people with the house unit, what we've heard is it can affect your neighbors and the waters around you up to 3 miles.
Yes, it's fantastic. I think it was in Phoenix, Arizona, I think it was, that Clayton said that somebody wanted, after 3 months, they had a whole house unit put on, and after 3 months, he wanted somebody to confirm that it was still working. Well, they actually had to go, I think it was 3 blocks away, just to get a baseline reading. So it had spread out quite a ways just in 3 months. Wow. So over time, that effect, who knows how far out it goes. But very quickly, it goes out to 1,000 feet with, they did strawberry research down in Southern California, where all of the strawberries out to 1,000 feet synced up with the strawberries that were actually watered by the structured water. Even though they didn't receive the same water, they had the same energy output in production as the watered strawberries.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was out to 1,000 feet in all directions.
There, for those that want to know, there's so much research and testimonials at the site,
Yes.
the naturalaction.com site, that I think would be really good, especially if they want to learn about Kirlian photography.
Yes.
There's been some testing of scientists and chemists from other countries that aren't really promoted here in America. So they can look at this information on there because it's lengthy. And I don't actually understand the testing, some of this, so it's hard for me to explain it to people. I just direct them to the site.
Yes, the information's available. That's what's really, really cool now is anywhere, if we just ask the question, the information is there. And it really is. All the information we ever need is here for us now on the planet today. And it's just fantastic. So what Clayton says is you ask the question and we'll go as deep as you want to go. I just love that.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I do too.
No limit.
Like cosmic pioneers. Yeah. Well, I don't know what else I can think of at the moment that would help cover. Did you see any questions that anybody had?
No, everyone's commenting on my makeup.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's cool. Yeah, it's a beautiful watercolor.
Oh
too.
Yes, it is the watercolor.
It's like a water droplet. I know there's a gal I'm friends with on Facebook that does the water orbs. She does the water remedies, and that's what it's in the shape of a water orb.
Oh, interesting. I would love to, if you could send me her info, I would love to check that out.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate all your knowledge and time. I'm very excited to receive my own unit. I just got the tracking number last night, so I should be receiving it hopefully tomorrow or the next day. So yeah, I'm very excited and hoping to get the shower unit next, and then from there, I have like a little tiny studio right now, so I don't really have a kitchen, but eventually definitely a housing unit as well. So very excited to share this with everyone, though, because I don't think many people know about it, and a lot of people think, oh, I need to filter my water, but this is just like a much more amazing solution to a worldwide challenge.
Yeah, thank you, Tom, because especially about the well thing, but I just met a gal in the park yesterday. We hit it off. I don't know, it was serendipity. So she just told me today, we went for a walk, that she didn't like the water in California, and her filter ran out. So she says it costs like $200. She goes, how much does your unit cost? And I said, well, it's about probably $69 more than that, but you don't have to ever replace the filter. There's no filter here. There's no moving parts, and it's a lifetime warranty.
And you can carry it everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's very small. It goes through airports and anywhere you travel.
Yeah. Now here's one more. I'll just throw out one more little story of what I noticed just last year. There's an acquaintance out in a real remote area in Montana. Anyway, this is the grandma and the grandchildren and her son with her daughter-in-law. Anyway, between the daughter-in-law and the grandma, they got into some disagreement to where the grandchildren were not allowed to go see the grandma, and they were living on the same property within about maybe 1,000 feet away, and so she just got the little shower head, just the shower head unit, and within 3 weeks she called me back for something else, and she said the children are now allowed to come visit. So the potential to shift your world in all ways exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to clear out everything that is unwanted in your body.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, that is super powerful, and that's exactly what the world needs.
Definitely.
Yep.
Well, I love you, Tom. Thank you for coming on. I know I don't know, are you in Arkansas?
Well, we're in Arkansas. We're going to be visiting the crystal mines around Hot Springs the next few days. So,
nice.
Very awesome.
Yay. Okay, well,
cool.
tell us about it sometime, and we'd like to do another live sometime.
Yes. Probably another 10 days, and then I'll be back home. So
we'll call it Adventures in Structured Water.
Yes, for sure.
Cool.
For sure.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Tom.
Everyone.
I'm glad we're finally connected on Facebook now. So looking forward to following you on Facebook.
Yep. Thank you. Well, good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Happy Halloween.